It's been 5 years since the Tongan national team captured the imagination of the rugby league world and took international rugby league to the next level after a number of players who were eligible to represent Tier 1 nations, including New Zealand and Australia, opted to play for the tiny island nation instead, and we saw how well that went, not just for the individuals and for the team, but for the growth of international rugby league as a whole. And now, as we approach the 2022 World Cup, it appears Samoa are ready to be the next nation to take that step after a number of NRL players, not only Samoan players, but people who played Origin and may have been eligible for kangaroo selection, are already opting to represent their home nation. We've already had the likes of Jerome Luai and Brian To'o from the Panthers. They'll be joined by Stephen Crichton, Isaac Pango, and Taylor May, to name but a few from the Panthers side, but they'll also be very well supported by a world-class pack that is going to be led by Josh Papali'i, who already declared his allegiance to Samoa. And there's an expectation that Parramatta's Junior Paulo will announce his commitment sometime soon. That is one hell of a pack, and they'll be well supported by the likes of Marty Tapau and Josh Aloye, as well as Jaden Sewer, Francis Molo, and Raymond Faitala-Mariner, who's been excellent since he returned from injury for the Bulldogs as well. And as well as that star power in the back row and the front row, there's also a plethora of talent available to support Luai in the halves, with Anthony Milford and Mason Lenor, both likely to be selected in the wider squad. Of course, Mason Lenor, you may remember, as a prolific point scorer for the Warriors and Knights during his time in the NRL. He's currently plying his trade in the UK, so he'll be acclimatised to the speed and conditions. And Anthony Milford, look, he's had a bit of an inconsistent time in Newcastle, although he's headed to the Dolphins next year. But he does possess, as we all know, that kind of open play, running, seize the moment, game-breaking ability that is so valuable to teams at the international level, where there are more likely to be those kind of gaps and opportunities moving forward. Now, look, it's not quite the same star power, the profile of the likes of Jason Taumalolo, who made themselves available for Tonga back in 2017, but I think the Samoan side is very strong. And while there will be questions about how far they can go, they're obviously a close-knit group, and I think that's only going to help them moving forward as well. But ultimately, for all of the speculation, we're going to find out a hell of a lot more when Samoa kick off their World Cup against the host England in what promises to be an absolutely exhilarating clash.